Hey everyone, Ultima456 here with a channel update video. So yeah, it's been a little while since I posted one. A little bit sooner than the last one, I'm pretty sure. I think the last one was about 7 months uh, between the previous one and that one. And this one is 6.5 months, I believe, if my math is correct. Yeah, the growth of the channel has been a little bit better. I managed an extra 250 subscribers since then. Whereas I think before that was only 150, but you know, it is what it is. But thank you anyway. I really appreciate it. So the first thing I want to talk about is actually the Tales of Symphonia Dawn New World guide. It's finally done. I can't believe it. There was like a promise that was 7 to 8 years in the making, and it's it's finally finished, and I'm fairly happy with how it turned out. I pretty much got to show off everything that was in that game, every scene, all the secrets. I think, well, most of the secrets. The only thing that I can remember was that I didn't get a chance to show is like you can essentially make an infinite combo with Emil, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, that I didn't get to show, but it was only because I found out about it like basically the last episode, and I already had planned what I was doing, and yeah, so I didn't get to show that off, but it's okay. I'm so glad that it's over. It does suck that like the game seems to have glitched as far as I can tell with regards to the skits. I'm actually recording this on the 13th of July, so it's going to be, and I think I'll post this on the 16th of July, so it's a little bit before, like, I'm recording this before the last episode is aired technically. But if people have found out like what happened, or if I did miss a skit, let me know in the comments, preferably of the Tales of Symphonia video, because I would really like to know. I did so much research, I did so much checking. I spent like an extra 10 to 15 hours playing the game again just to get that done, and yeah, it was really frustrating. So if someone could tell me which one I missed, or if they could tell me, yep, it definitely glitched on you because I checked, I went through everything and you didn't miss anything. So yeah, it sucks. It sucks that it kind of ended like that, but it is what it is. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. Since last time, during the last update, and also like a lot of the updates before, like I'd say like the past 3 or 4 years, I really haven't had much time to play anything for myself other than like Rebirth. I think last year I played Rebirth. I actually forgot about this until just yesterday. I think I took like 9 weeks off to play Rebirth before I started God of War Ragnarok, I want to say. And this year, obviously we're in July already, so we're already well into the year. But I think I took all that time off, and this year so far I haven't taken any time off, which is good. I'm going strong, which is very reassuring, and I want to continue going strong. But what's cool is that I had a little bit of time to play some stuff for myself. Now, I'm not sure it's because of like the change in how I've done the videos lately. So for those who don't know, I basically decided that because Tales of Symphonia was an RPG, I wanted to do sort of hour-long videos, and instead of like the 20-minute episodes that I do. And I think it really worked. I actually really, I'm gonna stick with it. It's so much better. To give you an idea of like just how much better, essentially, if I make 20-minute episodes, I have to record like 2 hours and 20 minutes of content at least per weekend. And since it was like per week, to make like 7 episodes a week. And since I pretty much only record on the weekends, that's like 7 episodes, which is not that bad. You know, like 7 episodes, 20 minutes, it's not that big of a deal. However, I can essentially do almost a week's worth of work by only recording 2 hours, which is only 2 episodes. And the reason that that's so good is because you don't have to create like for every episode that I would have created doing the other way, there's like 2 less episode titles and 2 less episode descriptions and 2 less intros, 2 less outros. two less episodes to edit, two less episodes to save, two less episodes to upload. Like it just cuts the admin very, very drastically, which is, it's extremely helpful. So it's just like, yeah, it's a no-brainer now. I'm definitely going to continue the way I'm doing it. Obviously, I wish that I could post things a little bit quicker, but it's not. I don't want to do that. I've thought about, when I'm finished the game, just post one a day, but then my sort of like lead, I guess, evaporates, and and then it just becomes like, the same thing of like, oh man, now I have to play catch up again. So that's why I do that. I also may be sort of conflating this with, how do I explain this? So I had some time to play other games, and I'm going to mention them in a sec, but I think it's because I took 2 weeks off in March. During this year, I had a chance to take some time off, and I was like, all right, I want to take at least 2 weeks off. So I did. And I used all that time to get ahead in Tales of Symphonia, Dawn of the New World. And then later on, I was able to actually like play some other stuff. So let me tell you about what I played. I can't even, like, just thinking about the games that I played, I'm like, how did I actually end up having time to play all this? So the first game I actually decided to play was Grandia 2. I've mentioned this before. Grandia 2 was like one of the few games that I had played a very long time ago, and I never finished it. I just couldn't, there was like a certain part that the game wouldn't let me get past, and like there was a big glitch in it or something, and it wouldn't let me get past that specific point. So I could never finish it. And then about, I think it was like late last year, I was scrolling through a website, and I just so happened to see Grandia 1 and 2 HD collection or something like that. And I was like, wait, what? And I checked, and lo and behold, the first and second Grandia game had appeared on the PlayStation Store as like a HD collection that you could download. And I think it became available in April of 2024, I want to say. It might have been 2023. I'm not 100% sure about that. But it became available, and I was like, oh, I can actually play like this game. I can actually like finally finish this game. So I was like, I don't care, I'm doing it. I really want to know like what happens at the end of this game, because I remembered most of the intro. I didn't remember how far I got into the game. It ended up being that I think I got about 65% through. Because I was like, okay, I remember this part, and then there was one specific bit I was like, okay, I definitely remember this part, and then after that I was like, yeah, I don't think I got to this point. So yeah, it was really cool to play it. Was it like good? Yeah, it was fine. It wasn't anything like too special, but I think the nostalgia helped me get through it. I'm trying to think, it was a good length. I think it was like pretty much bang on the sort of length. It didn't go too long, and it didn't go too short. I think they got the length absolutely perfect. So that was a very big plus. And the music was really good. I remember the music being really, really good. There were certain sections where I would like jump in. I was like, oh man, this theme is so like, it was like a rocking theme, and I was like, awesome. It was like very good to jive with almost. I didn't get the platinum. I missed it because there were a couple of additional things that I don't know how I missed. Like, I was pretty thorough, but the one big thing that I missed was I nowadays, to be honest, I don't even read the platinum. Well, I don't even know if I did this originally, but I don't read the list that much. I kind of just like start playing the game, and then if I need to finish it again, I'll finish it again. And in this particular case, I needed to play the game on hard, but I was like, I want to get through this like relatively quickly, so I'm going to play on normal. I think it took me like 40 hours to get through. I think it was, just around 40 hours. And that was like with reading like as much as I possibly could, talking to every NPC multiple times, fighting all the battles, doing everything I possibly could, and yeah, it took about 40 hours. One of the things that I do remember now that I'm speaking about that is it's very much a product of its time, and it's a very weird, like it's so like Japanese RPG that it's kind of odd. One of the things that I remember was the main character Ryudo. He's kind of like, he's an asshole, but every so often he'll speak in like a Shakespearean way. And it's so jarring. It's like, he speaks sort of with modern parlance, and then all of a sudden he'll just speak in a Shakespearean tone. Like he'll use like thou and thy and just all these words that I was just like, what's going on? Like it's, I don't know, it's such a weird mishmash. So it felt a little off, but it was still a really good game. So I don't know if I'll go back for the platinum, but at least it's there. Another game that I actually, yes, I if you can believe it, I had time to play something else, and I almost platinumed this one too. Inscription. Inscription is a game by a guy called Daniel Mullins, who I looked it up. Apparently, it is a solo developer. I wasn't sure if it was like, because his company is called like Daniel Mullins Games, but I didn't know if it was like games by him or games by like his studio that includes more people. But as far as I can tell, it's a single developer. Inscription is kind of like, it's a card game with a creepy story behind it. It came out in 2021, I want to say. Yeah, I think it was 2021. And it's good. It's really good. Like it's interesting. It's kind of like unnerving and unsettling. The card game aspect is excellent. The story is okay. Like I think like on a first playthrough, you're like, what is going on? And fortunately, the game theorists had like 3 videos that they created about it, so I ended up watching those, and I was like, oh, okay, that I get it now. And some of the, like, there was a augmented reality game in it as well. Except as far as I can tell, I think you had to have the game on PC in order to work out the augmented reality game. That was kind of like, it involved real life elements and searching through files like hidden in the actual code of the game, which you can't do on console. So that was why like some of the stuff I was like, wait, why are they allowing you to? And I was like, oh, okay, this must be like PC only. So but the game itself is really cool. I only missed one trophy for people who have played the game before. I only missed one trophy. It's the hardest trophy in the game. It's a gold trophy called Skullstorm. Basically, at the end of the game, you get like a sort of like it almost feels like a DLC bonus, but it's essentially a version of Act 1 that you can play infinitely. And there's more cards, more modifiers, and all this kind of stuff. And you have to pick all of the hardest modifiers. Like there are 13? I think there's 13 modifiers. You have to turn them all on, and then you have to beat the game with all of them on. It's almost like Slay the Spire with the Ascension modes turned all the way up to 20. In this one, there's 13. You have to beat them with all of it on. Now, to give you an idea, you have to also like unlock those 13 modes. So I played all the way up to the end, unlocked all of them. I think I tried it 2 or 3 times, lost each time. But on the way there, I had about the same amount of wins as losses. But it was weird. It was like I won 2 games in a row, then I lost like 4 games in a row, then I won like 6 games in a row. It was all over the place. But it's good. Like Inscription is really, really fun. I didn't end up finishing it because I don't know. I just didn't end up going back. I do want to finish it, but I didn't have a chance to actually knock it out. So it is what it is. And funnily enough, I don't know why, but I just wanted to. I did a playthrough of Borderlands, the first Borderlands game. I remember I purchased this game in like 2009 for my PC. It was 2009, right? That's when it came out? I think so, yeah. I was sort of like I wasn't sure if I was like a console gamer or a PC gamer at that point, because I had been playing World of Warcraft for a few years on the PC and I wasn't really touching like my PlayStation. And so then I bought Borderlands and I played a bit on PC, and then I think I didn't end up finishing it, or I got like pretty far, and then I think I played Borderlands again later on down the track, and I think I finished it, and then I was like, you know what, I really want to play that game again, because I do like the sort of the I like the gameplay, and I also enjoyed the story. I was trying to work out like how the story worked, but it was just something that wasn't as memorable. Like I remembered certain pieces of it, but not everything. And I was like, and then I played it again. It took me like 20 hours to get through the game, which was pretty cool. It was pretty fast. And then when I finished, I was like, yeah, okay, I remember like vaguely like the first story. I think Borderlands 2 is much better. At least story-wise. The gameplay is still really fun, albeit simplistic for Borderlands 1. It's really good. I got a chance to play with a different character. I always picked Roland every time because he's just like I don't know how to explain it. He is kind of like the most like bare bones like basic character, and this time I picked Brick because I was like, I know he has like these, like his fists, he uses his fists, and it would be like cool to use the fist weapons, and it was very it was like overpowered. I still died like a lot of times, but there were a lot of occasions where I was like, I am so dead, and then I would use his special skill and I'm like, I'm alive. So yeah, I played that, finished it. I didn't do any of the DLC because I was like, I know this is going to take forever and I got to get back to playing Tales of Symphonia, and so that's what I did. But yeah, I got to finally play like a few games for myself. The two other games that I was actually sort of like feeling like playing was, I wanted to play a little bit more of Returnal because I never ended up. I did finish the game like 2 or 3 times and get that ending, and then for whatever reason. And I wasn't the only one that felt this. So I remember reading like at least one Reddit comment. There was at least one person. Actually, was it on Reddit? It might have been on Reddit. It might have been on a random forum or something like that. But the game's difficulty for Returnal just like skyrockets for some reason. I don't understand. When you have to beat it like this one extra time, it gets so much harder for no reason. And so yeah, I never ended up beating it. I did play it a lot back, like when it came out, or I don't know, like a year after it came out, and I was like fighting and enemies and leveling up the guns and stuff, and I was like, I kind of want to do that right now. I don't know why, like I'm in the grinding mood, but I didn't do it. The other thing that I wanted to play, and this one hurts me because I know how much time I would spend on it, and I'm kind of like, do I do it? No, probably not. It's not a good idea. Focus on doing like games for your channel and everything like that, is the Mega Man Battle Network games. So for those who don't know, the Mega Man Battle Network games came out as like a legacy collection on the PlayStation Store a couple of years ago. And in Australia, well, with Australian currency, it was like $90, but you do get like Mega Man Battle Network 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I think 6 is split into like black and white, almost like Pokemon or something like that. I can't remember. So you get like essentially, what is that, 5, 6, 7 games with the last 2 essentially being the same thing. But yeah, I remember playing Battle Network a lot and I really liked it, and I was like, this game is cool. And then I actually searched up like how to do someone made a video. It was like, I 100%ed every Battle Network game. It was a mistake. And I was like, yeah, it's probably going to be a mistake, but I did want to play it. I managed to get the game at half price. Ironically, it was like right at the end of my to use the word ironically incorrect, it was right at the end of my like 2-week break in March, and I checked, and it just so happened that it was either right at the end or like as I went back to work. It was on sale for half price. So I was like, I just grabbed it for $45 and it's just sitting there, probably never going to be played. I don't know, maybe I'll have that time one day. Anyway, so the next thing is, since last time the Summer Games Fest happened, and there was a couple of things. So Resident Evil 9 finally got shown off, which is really cool. Like, I mean, we all love Resident Evil. It's fine. Keep it going. Just keep the franchise going forever, like Final Fantasy. Actually, it's kind of cool to think that like Resident Evil after 9 is going to hit 10. Like it's... and one other thing that I love is that they use the Roman numerals to... or at least... Wait, is it just with... No, they did it with the last... They've done it with 2 now, right? Because with Village, it's Resident Evil 8, so they put VIII, and it looks like the beginning of Village. And then for this one, they did Resident Evil 9, which is, I believe they put Requiem, so it's like RE, and then the 9 is supposed to look like a lowercase q, so it's like Requiem. So like they could do something with the well, it would be an X. So yeah, they just put an X there for, I don't know, they'll come up with something. But yeah, Resident Evil 9, it looks good. Resident Evil's always going to be something that is very appealing. And I was lucky too, because a lot of the hype surrounding this new game caused a lot of influx of people to find the channel, and I got a lot of really nice comments on my Resident Evil guide, or the first one, Resident Evil Remaster, and I've done almost all of them. We're closing in, but I haven't quite finished all of them yet. So yeah, it was really cool to see that, and not only did Resident Evil 9 help, but Neo 3 got announced. Oh man, I'm telling you, I think like I was sitting there and thinking to myself, I was like, geez, I wonder if Neo 3 will ever be a thing. Like, I wonder when that's going to happen. And then it just popped up on screen. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, what? In a way, I was a bit like, no, don't make me play another Neo game, please. Like, I love it, but it's so difficult like not to mince words or anything. The fact that I managed to get through Neo 2, especially the DLC, the very final episodes, the only reason I got through was because there was one, I think it was a headpiece drop that just had all of the correct affixes. If I had not got that drop, I would not have been able to finish it. It would have been too hard. And I think some people even said in the comments that they went to like New Game plus, I think it would have been Way of the Neo, I want to say. I think it's Way of the Neo. They went to the next one, got some better gear, came back and finished it off. And I do not hold that against anyone, because the reason I know that I wouldn't have been able to finish it is because I did not get anywhere near as lucky on my practice. And so I wasn't actually able to get the 100%. I think I got the platinum, but I wasn't able to get the 100% on my practice file. It's like stuck at 98 because I was like, well, I'm not going to go to the next, like, I'm not going to spend time doing this just to get this out of the way. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't have been able to get that 100% if it wasn't for that lucky drop. So yeah, if you still haven't got it, go to New Game Plus and get some better gear, and then come back and just finish it, just to decimate it with your better gear. But yeah, Neo 3, it looks good. I mean, I think the first thing that like I wanted to, well, the first thing that made me go, okay, I like this could be worth it, was the fact that they're changing it from like a mission-based system to like an open world thing. So I was like, okay, that's at least like, that's a pretty big difference. And now, what was the other thing? There was something about like you could, instead of just playing as a samurai, you can also play as a ninja. Like there's an actual like class now for it. So those are two big things that I think change up the formula enough for it to warrant a sequel, or another sequel. And with Neo, like the difference between Neo 1 and Neo 2, like when you look at it, you go, I think like on face value, if you're just looking at it, it's like, it looks like the same game, but they did such a good job of incorporating the, what are they called again? Like the yokai, was it yokai? I can't remember, the evil spirits, right? I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, anyway. They did such a good job to incorporate that into the player character and change up the combat because of it, that it felt different enough from original Neo to go like, yep, that's good. And now with the way they're doing it with Neo 3, I think they can probably pull it off, and I think Neo will go down in history as like one of the greatest franchises ever. They probably should stop at 3 though. Don't do any more than 3, please. Okay. So, and I got a handful of people coming through and watching the Neo playthrough as well, so thank you. If you did come through, you're watching this for the first time and you haven't subscribed, do it. I never say it, but just please, it'd be cool. All right, so that's weird. I think I've put my notes here in the wrong order. So what game am I doing next? Well, I believe I talked about it in the previous update, but if it's been a while, I was originally going to do Lies of P as the game to start off the year, and then I switched to Tales of Symphonia because I was like, I need to do this because otherwise I'm never going to do it. So now we're going to do Lies of P, and Lies of P is excellent. It's beyond excellent, actually. It's really, 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 really well done. I played through it towards the end of last year, finished it, was like amazed by it. I was like, wow, this is like probably, it might be like my favorite Souls-esque game. I think it might actually be my favorite, because what would be my favorite? It's a hard question. Like Bloodborne, Dark Souls, and Dark Souls 3 are definitely up there. I like Sekiro, but I think it's different enough for it to sort of sit beside those other ones. Demon Souls is also really good. Dark Souls 2, I think most people agree that it's the weakest of the franchise because of the way that it's because of how different it is and how much slower it is than the other installments. But yeah, Lies of P, I think it might have to take top. And Elden Ring is like just too big. It's too big. Sorry, I like the game, but it's too big. What was I going to say? Yeah, so I think Lies of P is the winner, at least for me. So I'm happy to be doing it. I also watched a video about like the history of Pinocchio and also like how it relates to Lies of P. And from what I've been able to tell, they knocked it out of the park. They took like elements from all the different sort of adaptations of Pinocchio and they put it into the game in like little ways, like just hints at it or even characters that appear in the game. So it's excellent. Lies of P is fantastic. It will definitely go much quicker than Tales of Symphonia. In fact, if I had to put a number on it, I would say I will definitely have the main game finished by episode 40, which is still, it's about, what is that? That's still 4 months, but it's like, it might even be quicker than that. I don't know. It depends. Like I'll be honest, I only struggle with 3 or 4 bosses. There's like 13 bosses and there's only like 2 or 3, maybe 4 that I kind of struggle with. Other than that, the rest of the game is actually, I don't want to say easy. It's definitely not easy, but it feels easier than the other Souls games. It might even be like one of the easier Souls games, but that's just my sort of like opinion on it. I guess like it depends, you know, like people are used to different things. So I guess for like the way my hands interact, the button inputs, the way that they designed it, my hands work fairly well for it. I never find myself, like when I'm playing the game, I never find myself blaming like my hand movement for something that didn't happen on screen. The only thing it felt like at times there were some dropped inputs, but I think it was just not being able to do certain things while other animations are taking place. Like I'll give you kind of an example. Like if you get knocked down real bad, if you mash the circle button, you can sort of roll out of it very quickly. But if you wait too long, like if you wait half a second more, your character will fall to the ground. He'll stay on the ground for a good few seconds before slowly getting up, and you could be mashing the circle button and it won't do anything. So I think there's kind of like a not necessarily a delay and maybe not even necessarily dropped inputs, just like you can't activate certain actions between or while other certain actions are taking place, and that one was definitely the most noticeable. As far as games after Lies of P, because I know it's like another sort of AAA game, I would really like to jump into an indie game, and there's 2 that I'm looking at. The first one is Blasphemous. I saw that a long time ago, and I was like, this game looks really cool. I think I could definitely play this. I think it's a side-scrolling game, which I haven't done in a very long time. In fact, Sultan's Sanctuary might be the last side-scrolling game I did. That's crazy. It also may be the last it's the last indie game that definitely got like a lot of views. So I was kind of like, you know, this could actually work. And there's one other game that I actually forgot like what the perspective was, but I looked at it and it seems to be like another third-person action game. It's also apparently very short. Thymesia. It was a game that like I think got announced or shown off at some kind of event. I was like, that looks cool. And it's, but I never, like, I didn't think about it for years. And then it just popped up somewhere, maybe last year or the year before. And I was like, oh yeah, what's this game? Thymesia. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's Thymesia, Thymesia. So, and it seems to be like a fairly short game. So, those 2 are the ones I'm sort of tossing up between. I'm leaning more towards Blasphemous, but at the moment I'm like focusing on Lies of P and just trying to practice and get that out of the way to kind of to get on with it, as I should with this video, because we're almost up to 30 minutes. All right, so I'm almost done. I want to say thank you to some recent patrons that have come aboard. Actually, it was 2 recent patrons, although I think one of them was like a repeat patron. I sent you a message, by the way. So I sent both of you guys a message if you wanted to have your names added to the end screen. So if you still want to do that, let me know. Just shoot me a message back. Otherwise, I'll just leave it. But yeah, I like to at least do that. It's the least I can do. Well, the least I can do is absolutely nothing. But I'll go you one better and come along. No, that's a Simpsons reference. All right, and finally, I want to thank Joseph Randomness, who was commenting. You've been commenting a lot more, which is cool. I always love reading your comments. They're always so laid out well and very thoughtful. And you were giving me tips on how to improve the quality of my videos, because I definitely have noticed Neo and Neo 2 look terrible. The particle effects, I think. There's a lot going on. I'll try and summarize it as quickly as possible. So particle effects in video games don't do well on when content is streamed, or even when content is uploaded to websites. And an extra thing that I found is that due to the nature of YouTube's system with how much content gets uploaded to the website, one thing that they do apparently is they apply certain codecs to certain YouTubers. So if you're a massive YouTuber, you get a premium codec, which means that your videos are going to look a lot better on YouTube. If you're a YouTuber like me, which is very small, you're going to get a lesser codec, and it's going to lessen the quality of the video. Now, they kind of have to do that, and I think the way they do it is actually fair. It's sort of a meritocracy. It's if you've got a lot of subscribers, obviously you must be doing something right that is mass appealing, and so it's utilitarian. It's let's do the most good for the most people. So it makes sense, right? And but at the same time, then the smaller YouTubers get gypped. But that's okay. Anyway, he said that if I at least, even if I recorded, and tell me if I got this right, Joseph, because I hope I did. I think he said, even if I record in 1080p, just put the 1080p video into a container of 1440p and upload it like that, so that then YouTube is forced to use more bandwidth, I think, and a higher bit rate to process the video, and therefore you should see an improvement in quality by just doing that. So I did try that. I felt like the difference was so minuscule that it was difficult to tell if it was there or not. So what I ended up doing was I was let me do some testing. And I actually tested, while I was practicing, I recorded a full hour-long video in 1440p, and I uploaded it privately, and I looked at it and I was okay, it's still very difficult to tell that there is an improvement, but I think it still looks really good. So I'm going to try and do that. Basically, I'm going to try and record my episodes as hour-longs at 1440p and upload them at 1440p, and hopefully it looks okay. It's not going to look amazing, but it's going to look okay. There are filters that you can put on, sharpening filters, to make it look obviously a lot sharper. However, I think in my opinion, I don't mind when things look sharper, but I also think it takes away from the originality of how it was supposed to look. So I tend not to use those filters, but it would be something that I could do. Okay, so yeah, I think we're pretty much done. The last thing I'll talk about is that this episode, I believe, this vlog style video will go up the day after Tales of Symphonia Dawn of the New World finishes. So that will be Wednesday the 16th of July, and then I will probably post my first episode of Lies of P on the 16, so 17 on 19th, which is what, Thursday, Friday, with 19th of July, which would be the Saturday. That's what I hope to do. If it doesn't get posted, then just wait. I should be able to. I haven't actually started recording. I was actually going to do a couple of episodes today, so hopefully I can pull that off. But if it doesn't get uploaded there, just hang on, it's coming. But I'm pretty sure I'll be able to at least get the first episode up by then. Okay, I mean, that's pretty much it. I have to actually go now because it's only going to make this video about 30 minutes. Not much else to say. I hope that I gave you guys a good update. That's what's going on right now. I'm going to work on Lies of P as much as I possibly can over the next 2-3 months or whatever, and fingers crossed that not only can I do it and finish it by the end of the year, which I think is going to be very possible, But maybe I can at least start like a third game before the end of the year. That would be really cool, and that would probably be like Blasphemous or Thymesia, as I said. Okay, so I think I'll leave things there. I want to thank you all very much for watching. I want to thank you for the support that you guys have been giving me. We're getting closer and closer to like 8,000 subscribers. I'm pretty sure I should be able to hit it by the end of the year, but who knows? We'll see. I've only been averaging like one a day for the past like 3 months. Well, yeah, like in 3 months I'll get like 100 subs. So yeah, and then sometimes there'll be like a jump of 20 and I'll be like, yay, and then like 3 weeks will go by and I've gained like 2, so it's all over the place, but it's how it goes. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ultimate456, you're the Ultimates, and I'll see you next time.